Oh,
Sister Laila Live. Sister Laila Live. Weekly for the show at the hour. Ask Sister Laila Live. Sister Laila. Invite your friends and family. Make it cozy. Ask Sister Laila.
Colin.
And by the way, what are you getting up here today? Let's talk about it.
any other questions?
This is gonna be good.
Welcome to Ask Sister Laila Live.
And by the way, what are you getting up here today? Let's talk about it.
Wait a minute.
Time for the Ask Sister Laila Live show.
This is
Lines
gonna
are
be
now
good.
open. 862-370-2838.
All right, guys, I'm sorry. I think they can hear me now. Hold on, let's try this. Let me make sure. Testing. Yeah, there I am. Okay, Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulallah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Ask Sister Laila live show. And this is where you guys can call in and ask me your questions about Islam. And if there's a question that I cannot answer, no worry. I do have Sheikh Morsi, Sheikh Abu Atayib, who is my personal teacher, and he's also a scholar of the ulama. He is on standby in case I need any help. And also, we usually have Dr. Jamali, but Jamali is busy at some affair right now. But alhamdulillah, we do have Sheikh Morsi on standby who can, inshallah, help with any questions if needed. And again, if you want to get your questions asked, there's several different ways you can go about doing that. Okay, you can, if you guys are on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Rumble, Instagram, Twitch, or Twitter, all you have to do is type on the screen. And inshallah, I should be able to see whatever your questions are. You can also ask your question by joining www.sunnafollowers.net, which is our website. And there's two things you can do there. You can click on the chat button that pops up, and you can type your question to us. it'll type to us to our WhatsApp group, or you can join the Zoom room. And that way you'll have access to the microphone and you can use the mic and ask your question live that way. Or if you want, you can just send a text message to our WhatsApp group, or this is the phone number 862-370-3828. You can call that number and ask your question, and we do have operators standing by to take your call. So alhamdulillah, there are several different ways to get your questions answered. You can take advantage of any of them. And again, yes, I'm also streaming on Telegram. Now on Telegram, let me join Telegram right quick. Yes, I'll be able to see your questions on Telegram too, because I'm joining in there. Yes, they won't be able to see it here, but inshallah, I can see it because I'm live on Telegram. 3, 2, 1. Now. So I'm live on Telegram now as well. Alhamdulillah. Live on, that's Telegram. And yes, we're streaming on Rumble. For Telegram, those, wait a minute, 3. Let me cut the sound down so I can hear you guys. So yes, I'm live on Telegram too. And also Rumble. Like I said, if you type on Rumble, inshallah, yep, I should be able to see you on Rumble. 2838. Okay, let me switch that around. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, there it is. This is Rumble. There it is. That's Rumble. So I can see you guys. Rumble or purple. So yes, so there's several different ways that you can get your questions typed to me, and inshallah, I can attempt to have them answered for you. All right. So, and any questions, start typing them on the screen now. And when you go to the Zoom room, don't forget Sister Famay is there to read your questions out loud. She's also here to read them on Facebook and YouTube for me too, inshallah. Yes, what do you new shahadas think about the classes? Alhamdulillah, I have a lot of new shahadas joining me, especially from the Reddit group. We do have a Sunnah followers channel on Reddit. It's called Protectors of Sunnah. And I have a lot of new shahadas there from there because some of the other Reddit channels know that I'm on there advertising, and they've been sending a lot of new shahadas from their Reddit channels to learn from me. So I like to get hear some feedback from you new shahadas on, how you're benefiting from the website. What is it that I might need to or may need to improve on if the information is too much for you? Because we're covering so much. We have the Aqidah classes, but we also have several Quran classes too, to understand the meaning and how to implement the Quran in your life. So give me some feedback as to how you guys think the classes are for you, inshallah. And the new practicing Muslims too. Okay, here's a person here. Well, welcome here, brother. Yes, the brother here is asking. He said he's one of the new people to come to our channel. And is it okay for him to participate because he's a man? First of all, there's nothing in Islam that says that a man cannot learn from a woman. You know, Aisha, radiallahu anha, who was one of the first scholars of Islam, you know, numerous are the hadiths, whereas the male companions would come and ask her questions about Islam, and she would answer them. And when Umar, radiallahu anha, became the caliph over the Muslims, the ruler over the Muslims, Aisha was not appointed. Let me talk about this for a minute. Aisha was not appointed to an executive board with men. Let's just get that clear, because this is another fitin that's going on here in America with the Muslims here. You know, we're trying to westernize and change the rules and laws of Islam to accommodate society. So we are appointing women to the executive boards of the masajids when a woman ain't got no business ruling over no masjid. That ain't her place. Her place is her home. But Umar, he did not appoint her as no executive of no mosque. But what he did was, whenever there were questions regarding family issues, women's issues, marriage issues, and things like that, Umar, radiallahu anha, would always refer them to Aisha. He would always ask Aisha and have her over answering those type of questions. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with a man learning from a woman. Your first teacher is going to be a woman anyway. That's your mother. There's nothing in Islam that forbids that. I don't know where this ideology comes from. You know, as long as the woman is sitting behind a screen, like I'm doing, my computer is my screen. That means you're not here with me. You can't touch me. You can't feel me or any of that. All right. And as long as the woman's voice is intimidating, that's the word, not aggressive, but intimidating, serious and intimidating, then there's nothing wrong with that. And we're not alone. There's other people present. Then there's nothing wrong with that. So I welcome you here, brother. Yes, you're willing. You can participate and ask questions and come here to learn. Yes, so there's nothing wrong with that in Islam. Okay, we have a question on YouTube. Sister Fame, do you see it? You want to read it? I think that one you guys could see. Y'all couldn't see the one on Rumble, but you can see that one, right?
Yeah. Sister Goldie, the question is, did the Prophet ﷺ instruct his wives not to remarry as his widows? Who do we go to Jannah with after physical death on earth?
Okay, this is a very good question. And it wasn't the Prophet that instructed his wives. Allah. It was Allah who instructed them. Why? Because they were his wives and they are the mothers over the believers. If they had married some other man, then they would no longer have been mothers over the believers. So for them, Allah ruled. That was from Allah. Allah instructed that his wives cannot marry after him. Because if a woman remarries after the death of her husband, she won't be with him anymore. You know, she's not going to be with him anymore. And that's the answer to the second part of her question. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in an authentic hadith. What's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there will be no one from this world who will be single in paradise. In other words, all of us from this world, male and female, jinn and non-jinn, when we all enter paradise, we will have husbands if you're a woman, and you will have wives if you're a man. Okay? The women of this world, if a woman is married and her husband dies, and she does not remarry after him, she will be with him in paradise. But that's the catch. You cannot remarry after him. Okay? So if the prophet's wives had to remarry, they wouldn't have been with him, nor would they be the mother of the believers. So that's why Allah forbade it. For people like myself, I am a single woman because I divorced. Will I be with my last husband? No. No. Why would I be with him if I didn't want to be with him in this world? For those of us who are single and not married, Allah will give us husbands from amongst the people in paradise. So every woman and man that enters paradise, your husband or your wife will be right there waiting on you. You'll be assigned your husbands and your wives. Okay? If a woman died, let's say that I was married and I died while I was married, I will be with my husband because I was still his wife before I died. So you will be with whoever your husband was in this world, unless you were single. In that case, Allah has your husband up there for you. What's the source? Bukhari and Muslim. And Allah knows best. Yes. That's a good question. And it's something that I tell the sisters here a lot. Those of us women who are single, who don't have husbands, don't feel bad about it, because if you don't have a husband in this world, that means Allah has somebody better waiting for you up there. You're not going to enter paradise and be alone. You know, maybe Allah is saving you for a prophet. Maybe he's saving you for Khalid bin Walid or one of those beautiful companions who were real men. So we have to learn to accept the qadr of Allah and know that Allah knows what's best for us. Okay. Any other questions?
The next question is, can you give me dalil on the women's menstrual cycle? It's not about how many days, but the blood that comes out. I want to share with my friends that believe differently.
Oh, I get so sick of this question. The dalil is Sahih Bukhari. Can't get no better than that. And if your friends don't want to accept what Allah says, then shame on them. That's why the war in Gaza, which is not a war in Gaza, that's why the war against Islam ain't going nowhere. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this is your dalil. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, was approached by the hard-headed women like you. And he told them, because they were complaining like you, about how I bleed for 3 days. Oh, I'm just spotting. Oh, I'm this. Women are like that. That's why it's going to be more of us in hell than paradise. Because even when we see the evidence, even if the Prophet Muhammad were telling you, you're still not going to accept it. Women are arrogant. Women are hard-headed. That comes from Shaitan. The women approached him and he told them the woman's menses is not determined. This hadith is Sahih Bukhari. And it's not my job to go find it for you. If you're intelligent enough to challenge me, then you should know the hadith, because everybody else knows this hadith, because it's from the most authentic source after the Quran, which is Sahih Bukhari. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said a woman's menses is not determined by the amount of days in which she bleeds. Instead, the woman's menses is determined by the color of the blood. He said, if the blood is black, brown, red, pink, yellow, you are on your period and you do not pray, you do not fast, you do not have sexual relations until you stick a piece of cotton up there and it comes out clear. That's the dalil. And if you hard-headed women do not want to accept that, then all I can tell you is you're fuel for the hellfire. You're just another example as to why there's going to be more women in hell than men. Because a woman is so arrogant that she'll follow herself to hell. Y'all see that? So that's it for this period stuff. This person's been asking me this question for the past 5 days, and it made me have irritable bowel syndrome because it's disgusting. And it just shows how women today are no different than how they were during the time of Aisha. When the prophet told the women that, do you know those women were so arrogant? They kept sending nasty boxes with bloody tissues in it to Aisha. And Aisha she said, wait a minute, what is this? Don't you women understand? And I'm telling you the same thing she told them. Don't you women understand? When you see nothing, is it over? So women, it just shows that as women and men, we don't change. Human beings never change. It's just a different year, a different century, but we're still arrogant, pompous, hard-headed. That's us. That's why most of us are going to be in hell. And that's all I can say. I don't want no more questions about a period, because I'm telling y'all, it makes me sick to my stomach to think that you sisters are like that y'all don't want to submit. What makes you think that during the most sacred time, when you make your prayers, you're praying to Allah? This is a meeting with Allah. You're standing before him. Do you think, how can you feel comfortable standing before Allah with filthy blood coming out of you? That just shows how Shaitan has you women twisted. This is why a lot of brothers divorce y'all too. Y'all want to act that way when the prophet done already gave you the answer. I didn't give you the answer, the prophet did. You want to get tough when the prophet done already answered it? Now I see why a lot of these brothers toss y'all to the curb. Arrogant, sick women. And Allah knows best. Next question. If you sisters, wait a minute, let me put this in there. If you sisters want to pray on your period, go knock yourself out. And when you wonder why your life is ruined, because when a woman prays on her menses, she's cursed by Allah. You women want to know why your life is miserable, why you're unhappy, why you can't keep a man, why your children are bad, because you have Allah's curse on you, because you're hard-headed and you're arrogant and you're ignorant. Nothing worse than an ignorant woman. Nothing worse than an arrogant woman. And I'm a woman, so I know Allah speaks the truth. Okay, go ahead.
If a husband wants to move overseas or far away from your children from your first marriage and you refuse, is that a reason to divorce?
Wait a minute. What? Say the question again. I'm sorry. Your husband, say it again.
If a husband wants to move overseas or far away from your children from your first marriage.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Stop right there. Your husband wants to move away from you and your children that from a previous marriage. I think you answering your own question. What man wants to move away from you and your children when it's his job to provide and to protect you? Did the Prophet Muhammad move away from Salama and her children? Did the Prophet Muhammad move away from Habiba and her children? Did the Prophet Muhammad move away from Sauda and her children? What man who fears Allah and believes in the last day and who loves his wife would want to leave her because he doesn't like the fact that she has children from a previous marriage? There's something wrong with that. If you can't figure out that maybe you made a big mistake, maybe you married a loser. You ever see the Glee Club? You married a loser, okay? Because that's not the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's not the sunnah of Abu Bakr. That's not the sunnah of Umar. That's not the sunnah of any of the companions, to marry a woman with children and then leave and move across the ocean because he doesn't want to be with her or her children. Why did he marry you? If a man can't accept you and your children, why would you want him? Where was your guardian? There's a lot wrong with this question. First of all, where was your guardian? What guardian would allow a man to marry his daughter or his charge when he knows she got kids but don't want them? This sounds like a whole lot of issues. Okay? But to answer your question, why would you want a man that don't want you? Why would you want a man that doesn't want your children? There's something wrong with you? Are you that desperate? All of us have obligations. Your children are an amana, a trust between you and Allah. So why would you want a man that wants to come between you and your trust to Allah? What kind of question is this? Well, ask her what response she got. What response do you have to that?
She said he wants them to move away in the future, but away from her kids.
Like I said, why would you want to be with a man like that? Why did your guardian even allow you to marry a man like that? That's a question that you're going to have to answer on your own. Because that's a question that you're going to have to sit down and look at yourself about. Because you got some issues going on here. It's called self-esteem, self-love, some desperation going on here. Like I said, this is not the behavior of Muslims. This ain't the behavior of a Muslim man. There's a lot of blessings in a man taking care of children that are not his. That's a lot of reward. So I don't understand what she's asking me. My thing is, why would you want to be with a man that tells you that he wants to move away from you and your children? I tell him, bounce. He should have bounced a long time ago. And Allah knows best. You can't accept my cats, you can't have me. When I get married, I tell any man, my kunya is Huraira. I am known as Huraira. If you cannot accept my cats, you cannot accept me. And those are cats. So here's a man telling you that he don't want nothing to do with your children from a previous marriage. What are you doing with him? He shouldn't even been considered for marriage. Bounce. Okay. Next question.
Okay, I think this one is from a kid. I want to know, why does Allah hate gay people?
Yeah, this was a I got this. This was a question that I saw from our phone in, and it kind of bothered me. First of all, by the way, I'm not breaking on YouTube, am I? And by the way, I know that my let me fix this. I had it on a different internet too. I'm glad y'all told me to look at that, because my Wi-Fi, I had it off my Wi-Fi and put it on my AT&T. I had to go to AT&T today. Okay, first of all, guys, there's something that we have to understand as Muslims in America. And I'm talking to the Muslims in America, because we have a big problem going on here in America. And that problem is, we have some brothers and sisters that refer to themselves as being scholars. They believe that because we live in a non-Muslim country, that it's necessary for us to tweak the laws of Allah, that Allah's laws don't apply today, because today is different than the time of the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, they have their fatwas, which read, because I've seen them, they have their fatwas which read that because of this non-Muslim society, we can tweak the laws that Allah created about homosexuality, sodomy, and all that. And we're going to change it. Even though Allah says that as Muslims, we do el-bara, we distance ourselves from anyone or anything that opposes our Islamic identity, our Islamic values. These people are saying that, no, we don't distance ourselves. Instead, we just make boundaries. And then they went so far as to play with science. They also have in their fatwas that LGBTQ is a mental sickness. It's a sickness. It's a disease of the body. And people can't help it because it's a disease. Oh, yeah. That's what they're saying. It's a disease. We can try to cure people of it, but there ain't no known cure. And the cure may not work. Oh, yeah, they go into all this stupidity. First of all, LGBTQ has been in existence since after Allah created Adam and Eve. Allah destroyed a whole nation of people, the people of Lot, for that same sickness. And when I say sickness, I don't mean medical sickness. I mean sickness of actions. LGBTQ is not a medical illness. LGBTQ is a behavioral choice that an individual makes. As we've talked about in our Tawheed class, our Aqidah class, part of Allah's lordship is He's the creator. And when Allah creates, it's not like what man thinks he can create. There are no defects in Allah's creation. Allah created us as humans to be as we are, to live as we live. However, there are some behaviors that we pick up as humans. There's some desires and feelings that we give into from the soul, because as Allah says in the Quran, the human soul is criminal by nature. The human soul is attracted to everything that's bad or dirty. So we have to work on taming our soul. Well, when you raise your children up in a non-Muslim environment like America, and you don't teach them the proper aqidah, you don't teach them about the lordship of Allah, you don't teach them about the worship of Allah, they're going to end up succumbing to all the dirt and the filth that's around them. Nobody is born that way, because there are no defects in Allah's creation. But people develop those desires. They develop that attraction based on the environment that they live in, based on the surroundings they're in and the teachings that their parents give them or allow for them. Why does Allah hate it? Because he says, I created you in pairs, male and female. He did not say that I created you in unisex. He says, I created Adam and his wife Eve. He did not say that I created Adam and his man named Steve. So Allah hates everything that's bad and dirty. Allah hates everything that goes against what he created you to do. So if you have thoughts of homosexuality in your mind, that means that your parents didn't raise you right. That means you're hanging around with the wrong people. Maybe you're spending too much time with the same sex. You've become too close, because remember, everything we do is supposed to be balanced. We're not supposed to spend too much time with a person. We have to know our limits. We have to know our boundaries. Evidently, your family didn't teach you those boundaries. So, your family need to work on incorporating within your heart belief in Allah. Once you develop that belief in Allah and his lordship, and then you submit to his worship, those thoughts will go away, because that's all they are, thoughts right now. I hope they are just thoughts. Also, a great way to get rid of it, maybe it's time to get married. Maybe it's time we sit down with our parents and have that little discussion. We say, Umi, Abby, it's time I get married, because I'm starting to have some bad thoughts here. I'm starting to have thoughts that go against nature. And maybe that's something that you and your parents need to sit down with, and they get you a nice, if you a boy, they'll get you a nice little girl to marry. That'll take them thoughts away. Or if you're a girl, they'll get you a nice little boy to marry. That'll take those thoughts away. That's how we handle that in Islam. We don't sit there and make boundaries and welcome that type of behavior, because that behavior goes against the way Allah created us. It's an abomination. Allah refers to it as an abomination. There's no defects in his creation. Does everybody understand that? So that's why Allah hates it. He hates it because it goes against what he created. He hates it because it's a behavior that Shaitan wants you to indulge in, because Shaitan wants to take you to the hellfire with him. And if you stupid enough to listen to him, you'll be right there with him. And Allah knows best. Talk to your parents about marriage. Let her take it away. Steve ain't got nothing over on Eve. Eve has body parts that Steve could never have. Eve feels a lot better than Steve too. Steve don't have no softness like Eve do. Plus, Eve is more beautiful than he is. All right? So talk to your mom. And Allah knows best. Next question.
If there are two or more wives, will the one strongest in deen bring the others to Jannah as family, or is each of us accountable to make it to Jannah on our own?
Okay, first of all, is this a Mormon? I keep telling you guys, this is another problem in America. Y'all see why that war ain't going nowhere? We have not only imitated the Kafirs and how they fight with all that protesting and that boycotting, but we are even imitating them in how we marry. We're not Mormons. When a man takes on another wife, that ain't none of your business. What goes on with him and his other wives ain't got nothing to do with you. There's no relationship between you and them. We're not sister wives. We don't share the children. We don't share anything. Not even him. Because when he come to you, he's your man. And it's all about you. It ain't about sharing. And when he goes to them, he's their man. It's all about them and not you. So get rid of that LDS mentality. Stop watching TV. We are not sister wives. We're Muslim women. And I got one husband. And I'm responsible only for my children and myself in regards to him. You ain't got nothing to do with his other wives. They ain't none of your business. They ain't none of your concern. And you Muslim sisters got to get that through your head. Y'all got to stop watching TV. Stop being like the Christians. We ain't Christians, and we don't live in the same house either. By the way, that ain't Islam either. A woman has her own home. My home. This my place. This me. Got nothing to do with her. And none of her business or my business. Do you women understand? Ask her, does that answer your question? You might end up in hell and your husband ends up in paradise. Who said that just because I'm going to paradise, my husband going with me? There's no guarantee of that. Who said because my husband got 5 or 6 or 7 wives, although we don't do that in Islam, because my husband got 4 wives, if one goes to hell, all of them go. Y'all got to come out of that LDS mentality. That's what the Mormons believe. We're not Mormons. We're Muslims. And Allah knows best. Ask her, does that answer her question? I hope it's clear. You understand, sister? Don't worry about his other wives. They ain't got nothing to do with you. You shouldn't even have a relationship with them. What you got a relationship with them for? They ain't none of your concern. Deal with you and your children. The world is so messed up here, especially in America. You better focus on you and your kids and stay out of other people's business. Because you're only responsible for you and your children, not nobody else's. Okay? I have to come down on you women about this stuff because it's serious. I hope it's clear, sweetheart. Goldie say they in her business. Girl, you better get them women out your business. You women better deal with your own relationships. Stay out them other wives' business. Ain't none of your concern. Yeah. Okay, here's a question from Brother Ahmed. He said, will Allah, can y'all see that one? Yeah. Will Allah remove his screen? Yes, only on the day of judgment, after the people enter paradise. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, after the people enter paradise and find their places, go to their levels, Allah will ask the believers, is there anything else that you need? And they will say to him, oh Allah, how could we want for anything else when you've given us all this? And Allah will say, well, I'm going to give you something better than everything that you have now. And that's when Allah will remove the screen of light that hides him. Allah does not wear a scarf on his head. When we talk about screen, we're talking about the veil of light that he's behind. Allah will remove that veil of light, and we will be able, the people of paradise only, will be able to finally look upon the face of their Lord. They'll get to see Allah's beautiful face. And it'll be such a beautiful thing that nothing is better than that. But that's only for the people of paradise. The people of hell will never see his face. And Allah knows best. You know what, Sister Goldie? I notice when it comes to polygamy, what I notice as a daya, the ones that the sisters that got it under control, that mind their own business, don't have the problem. You know, they don't care what's going on. It's the ones that don't have it under control. They want to dip in your business and try to start problems. That's how it always is. It's the ones, the weaker ones, that's always trying to start the drama. That's why I like living away from them. When I was married, I like living in a different state. I don't even want to live in the same state with those women. I ain't got time for that. Life is old. You know, we get old. Nobody got time for that drama. That's why when I was married before, I said, you keep them south, I'm northeast. They were southwest, I'm northeast. Nowhere near. I ain't got to deal with it. I ain't got to see them. Ain't got to deal with none of that drama. Oh, yeah. I make it a point to move to a different state, a different city. Oh, yeah. I'll move to a different state, city, and everything else. But I got time for that drama. Yeah. Brother Ahmad is asking about the mosque. He said, should the masjid have more than one imam doing the khutbah? Khutbah is just a lecture. You know, if they want to have brothers do the lecture, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, Brother Ahmed. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And Allah knows best. It could be that the masjid doesn't have a permanent imam. A lot of the communities that don't have a permanent imam, they'll have guest speakers and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Exactly. That's what they do, Goldie. They want to be nosy, get all in your business. You know, you got to put the distance, guys. For you sisters that's into that polygamy, you have to set the boundaries. Those boundaries should have been set before you got married. Before you even married the husband, you should have had those boundaries set. You know, set your bound. Let them know I'm not married to her. I'm married to you. I don't want her calling here. I don't want her coming around me. I don't bring her kids around if you don't want them, because this is enough to deal with. You know, you have to set boundaries, guys. And then things will change later. Then, if the boundaries are set, then as the years go by, you will see the women that say, well, I don't mind the kids. Just, I don't want her around. Because the kids are all related. Bring the kids over, and that's it. You know, but, you have to set those boundaries in the beginning. You let him know. I don't want her calling me. Don't have her call. Don't even give her my phone number. She ain't got no. Why she need my number? She don't need my phone number. Call you. You sisters tell them up front. She don't need my phone number. I don't want her calling. I don't want her popping up. Boundaries. Then after time, you will see that people get used to it and they'll be able to be more lenient. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Any other questions in there, Sister Fame? Exactly, Sister Goldie.
Yeah, there's one question here. Let me move this. Okay, so my question was, this is the sister from earlier, about the husband and moving away. My question was in detail, do I divorce my husband if he's not considering my kids? If he decides to move overseas, he think I am supposed to follow and leave my kids behind. They are older and not thinking of not thinking of this until 10 years.
Okay, like I said, that's only a question you can answer because divorce is legal in Islam. Divorce is good and clean. Divorce is good and clean. Anytime a wife or a husband believes that their rights are being violated, you can get a divorce. So I can't tell you that you can't get a divorce. That's something that you have to decide. Like I said, that's a personal thing. Would you want to be married to a man who doesn't want to acknowledge your children or you? I mean, that's something that you're going to have to deal with. That sounds like some thing, something that you need to deal with. I can't answer that. The only answer I can give you is divorce is good and clean. As Allah says in the Quran, perhaps you hate something that Allah brings a lot of good from. So that's it. That's something that you got to talk. You should have talked about that with your guardian before you married him. Before you and him got married, y'all should have talked about that with your guardian. Maybe you can go talk to your guardian now about it. But I can't answer that for you because divorce is lawful. It's good and clean. If you feel that your rights are being violated, adios, amigos. It's up to you. And I can't answer because every woman is different. This is not a question of legality. I mean, some women can tolerate what other women can't. Maybe you don't want to be with your kids either. I don't know. If you don't want to be with your kids, then you move away from them. If it don't bother you, move away. Then some of us have different priorities. Some of us have put ourselves before our kids. I could care less about them. I'm going to do what makes me happy. So it's up to you. Only you can answer that question. I don't know you. And I don't know. I mean, we're all different. But divorce is legal and lawful in Islam. We cannot make haram anything that Allah made lawful. And Allah knows best. Okay, next question. I hope she understands. If you want the women that don't care about them kids, then go on about your business. If it bothers you, then don't do it. Yeah, some women love their men more than their children. Some women love their children more than their men. So that's something that you got to decide, not me. Exactly. Yeah, Brother Tajri said he understands. Yeah, I mean, some women don't care. Or some women care, but care about themselves more. Some women care about the man more. So I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it does sound cruel, or doesn't? The brother here said that sounds awful cruel. A man telling you 10 years from now he's gonna move back to his country, but he ain't bringing your bad kids. That's what it sounds like. That's kind of cruel. That shows what he thinks about you and your kids. Now, this is what a brother is saying here. He said, I'm a man. He said, it sounds like the man is telling you in a nice way that he can't stand your kids, that you got some bad kids that he don't want in his life or around his other kids. He said also that means he don't want them around his other kids, his kids. So that's something that you're going to figure out. Now, Lord knows best. Yeah, life is like that, sisters. I know. Yeah, it is. It's complicated. Okay, the person here is asking me, what would I do in a situation like that? I'm a different type of breed, guys. I don't love nobody more than me. Not my mother, not my father, and not my children. I'm one of those women that's going to do what's best for me. My kids are grown. Yeah. See, I'm one of those kind. It ain't about, I could care less. It's all about what's best for me. I done did my job.
Okay, and she also said that he's leaving his kids too. He's homesick and hates America. And then you have another question here.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. He leaving everybody? What the heck? Where he, ask her out of curiosity, where he come from? What country he live in? Because I'm going to tell you, they got it worse in them countries than we do here. Where is he from? Out of curiosity, sister, where is he from?
Jordan.
Oh, girl, please. Jordan is so messed up. Ain't no Islam over there. What's he talking about? Jordan? Don't you know that the king is American? You ain't leaving America's problems going to Jordan. You going to a worse problem. And what makes Jordan worse is you can't speak out against the evil. You can't speak out against the government. You can't speak about Islam there. It's worse than Jordan than it is here. That country is twisted like crazy. Look who their president is. Girl, please, sound to me like he got some issues. He got issues. Oh, yeah, exactly. The brothers here typing the same thing. Is he crazy? Yeah. One of the brothers here said, tell him that the homeland unchanged drastically. A Zionist society. He said, you leaving one Zionist society for another. A worse one. He said, because you cannot speak out. You have to sit there and take what they give you. Yeah, that man sound like he's twisted, whoever he is. Okay, next question. Go ahead. Yeah.
The next question is, if a woman wears a niqab and some things happens to her, or if she does something bad to someone else, how can we give information to police if we cannot identify her?
That's the truth. Why are you wearing a hijab? I mean, a niqab. I don't know. That's the same question I ask. I've been asking that for years. You know, and that's also more proof that covering your face is not an obligation in Islam. Okay, nowhere. I keep telling y'all, the Prophet's wives did not wear niqab. This is not part of the Arabic women's dress. Arabic women did not wear burqas. Arabic women did not wear niqabs. That's not a part of their culture. The Prophet's wives, they dressed like me. Their khimar was just like mine. They showed their faces. But if they were at wartime and were walking past a group of men and they wanted to be incognito, they would do this. And then take it down when they pass them. Or they would bring their khimar forward, like I showed y'all before, like a hood, like this, and cover their eyes, hide their eyes, so you can't see. You can't tell who I am if my eyes are not shown. My eyes are the key to my soul. So the female companions either wore their khimar like this, or they would show their faces. And if they passed by a group of men, like I do sometimes, I did it today, bunch of men were standing around. I was doing this. And my niece, my granddaughter, I wasn't even aware. I was sitting there doing this, like this. And my granddaughter said, Mom, why you got your face covered? I said, I'm not even conscious of that. And my granddaughter told me, she said, you always do that. I said, do I? She said, whenever we out in the public and there's a lot of men around, you do this. And I sure do. This is what the prophet's wives would do if they walked past a group of men and didn't want to be known. But the men knew who they were because of the eyes. You can still tell this is Laila. Okay. So I don't know why you sisters wear niqab. I don't know. I never understood why y'all do it in America. I don't understand it. Especially in America, when they like to pin stuff on Muslims anyway. Plus, my opinion, you bringing more attention to yourself because people going to think you a terrorist or they're going to think you up to some shady business. In my opinion, you bringing more attention to yourself. They used to seeing Muslim women like this, but they ain't used to that. After 9/11, they used to it, but they don't like it. So I don't understand the question. Nothing. What am I supposed to say? Stop wearing a niqab if you think it's causing a problem for you to be identified. It's not an obligation anyway. And Allah knows best. Next question.
I was watching one of your previous Q&A and I heard you answer a question about a woman who gives birth in the middle of Ramadan does not have to make up the missed fast, instead pay the ransom. I was told I had to fast, so I fasted 20 plus days because I gave birth a week after Ramadan. Does that count?
Wait a minute, I don't understand her question. Let's get to her question. She says she did what? What happened with her? She had a baby when?
She said she had a baby a week after Ramadan, and someone told her that she had to make up the missed fast. So she fasted.
No. What you heard?
Days that she missed.
No, what you heard from me is what I've been teaching since 1986. Pregnant women are supposed to fast. I've been teaching that since 1986 on this internet. There's a misconception that a lot of Muslim women have. They think that because they're pregnant, they're not supposed to fast. I don't know. Well, I do know where they get it from. That's how some of the madhabs interpret that hadith, one hadith. Okay, but you're supposed to fast when you're pregnant, unless you are a high-risk pregnancy. If you are a high-risk pregnancy, then you don't have to fast. You just pay the ransom. So that's the answer. I don't know what her question is, but the question is, the answer is this. You were supposed to fast when you were pregnant. If you didn't fast, there's nothing you can do to make it up. Just like there's nothing you can do when you miss your prayers, because you cannot take back the hands of time. This is the opinion that I follow. This is based on the hadith of Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar that I follow. And I know there's another opinion out there, but I follow this one based on, remember I told you guys, there's only several things that the companions differed on. This is one. Okay. You should have been fasting when you was pregnant. Since you didn't know, Allah doesn't hold you accountable for what you did not know. Okay, so is that answer her question?
No, she said her question was she gave birth like while Ramadan was going, so she was going through the after birth.
Oh, she was bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wanted to know if she had to make up those missed fasts or that she just pays the ransom.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I want you to hear both of those views from Sheikh Morsi. Let me see if I can get Sheikh Morsi if it ain't too late. Because I want him to give y'all those too. We go through this every Ramadan, and I'd rather y'all hear this from him if I can get him on the phone. Yeah. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, hold on. Why come this is doing that? I don't know. Let's see if I can get him. It ain't too late. God, it might be too. Your call has been forwarded to. Okay, hold on for a second too, sister. I'm gonna try him another way too. Hold on. I got another way I can try him. And this is on my thing here. Give me 1 second. Plus, that'll give me a minute for him to call back too. Hold on. I had another number. This is Jamali's. Hold on, guys. I got a little thing here that I keep all the numbers. Okay. This ain't, I know I put it here. I can't find it. Wait a minute. I think this is it. Okay, it should be in this one. Plus, I'm seeing if he's going to call me back. Wait a minute. Hold on. Did I put it right? Did I dial the right number? Which number? Now, I thought that's what this number is. Let me see, make sure I dialed the. Yeah, I dialed the right one. Okay. Well, we'll see if he calls back. Anyway, her question is, she said she had her baby during the month of Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
And she bled. So she was that whole
remaining.
Oh, wow. So she spent the whole month bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay, well, she's right. She has to. They are right, because if that's different, because we do have that hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, where Aisha radiallahu anha said that the women have to make up their fast from their menses, and nifas is considered like the menses. So he's right. She has to make them days up. He was the whole month, girl. But still, like I said, I'm gonna talk to Sheikh Morsi too, because I know there's another opinion out there too. But I base that on that hadith I know from Sahih Bukhari, Whereas Aisha radiallahu anha said that a woman who has who was pregnant, who had a baby during the month of Ramadan, she has to make them days up. Okay, but I will check. Tell her I'm gonna get back with her on that when Sheikh Morsi calls me back. Okay, here's another question too. Yeah, niqab. Women that wear niqab think that they're more religious, and this is something that you guys are gonna have to beware of. Whenever somebody tells you that doing something makes you more righteous, makes you more in submission, or makes you better than someone else, they have to bring the clear evidence. They have to bring the dalil where Allah said that if a woman covers her face, she's better than a woman who doesn't. Allah doesn't mention anything like that in the Quran. Or they have to bring an authentic hadith where the Prophet Muhammad said that women who cover their face are superior and more religious. This is a lie. There's no hadith that says that either. In fact, we have this authentic hadith that's from Sahih Bukhari that knocks all that out. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, piety is not determined by the clothes you wear. Piety is not determined by the language you speak. Piety is in the heart. Taqwa is in the heart. And then another hadith, the Prophet said, Allah doesn't look at the clothing that you wear. Allah doesn't look at what much money you have. Allah looks at your heart. So those two authentic hadiths put to rest this lying misconception that men have given you women. And this is something that men made up to use as a weapon to try to get you sisters to become inhibited. This is garbage, fairy tales that men made up to get you Western women to become their idea of what they think a woman should look like, because they couldn't get the women in their country to do it. Hello, I'm just gonna be real, because like I said, even today, the Arab women don't walk around like that. It's culture, it's not religion. So it's just a fable, a fairy tale that men made up to get you to be that person they want you to be. They'll tell you, oh, if you cover your face for me, that means that you better than any other woman in the mosque. You are more religious than the other women. You're better than all these other Muslim women. Oh, really? Who said that? Allah said he don't care about what you got on. Your clothes don't make you with Allah. He said taqwa, piety is in the heart. So take that garbage out of here, guys. This is more fabled nonsense. Islam is based on two sources, the Quran and the authentic hadith. If something cannot be proved through the Quran or the authentic hadith, we let it go. And Allah knows best. Yeah, any other questions in there? Yeah, he didn't call back. I was hoping he would. But I'll get back to that, sister. Is whoever asked the question, is she here in the website all the time, Fame? So I can give her that answer?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay, good. Because that's my answer based on Bukhari. But I think that there's another view too. That's why I have Sheikh Morsi talk about it. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, I know. That's why I say I'm going to have Sheikh Morsi deal with that. Yeah. Okay, just to let everybody know, tomorrow, inshallah, don't forget, we had a sister tomorrow. Sister,
No.
oh,
No,
okay.
no.
Okay. Tomorrow we have Dr. Asim's class at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have my class we don't have our other brother either, do we? Hanif?
No.
Okay. So we have my class at 6:30. And then we have Dr. Dramali at 9. So we have, Dr. Asim at 4, me at 6:30, and Dr. Dramali at 9, inshallah. And for the children, remember, guys, go to Amazon and buy the children's version of Know Your Lord. And for the children, review with them pages 193 to 198. Have them answer those 2 or 3 of those questions that's in the back of the chapter. Because that summarizes what I'm teaching you guys about shirk or association. Okay, do we have any other questions before I close out? And by the way, guys, please support this dawah effort. If you guys would like to continue, coming here to learn Islam and its truthfulness with the understanding of those companions, remember, alhamdulillah, I can say alhamdulillah because America done set some laws up for nonprofits. For these nonprofit organizations, I want y'all to pay attention. You nonprofit organizations, churches, masjids, that's taking money from the federal government to help pay your church expenses, they got some new guidelines now. You're going to have to add LGBTQ to your board. You're going to have to allow LGBTQ into your masjids. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's what comes with taking money from the government for your nonprofit. But alhamdulillah, here at Sunnah Followers, we are a nonprofit organization and we don't get any funding from the government. And I'm glad because alhamdulillah, you don't have to worry about coming here, seeing an LGBTQ sitting up here telling you, hello, hi, my name is Stephen. I used to be Stevana. And I'm a Muslim now, a new convert. You ain't got to worry about that here. Okay? You don't have to worry about logging in to see Brother Lail. Brother Lail sitting here with a hijab on, talking about he gonna teach y'all some Aqidah. Okay? No. So alhamdulillah, won't happen here. But we are a nonprofit organization and we are dependent upon you guys to help pay our monthly expenses. So please support us, guys. I'm trying to keep the classes beneficial. I'm trying to keep the classes right there, what you need to hear, what you need for your heart. Please support us in this dawah effort. You guys know I work hard to put those videos out and stuff. All that stuff costs money. So you can send us, you can pay using PayPal, pay using Zelle, you can pay using Cash App. Please support us. All right. Okay, and I'm going to log out for tonight. Inshallah, please be here tomorrow. And for those of you who would like to stay up, I'll be in the Zoom room for a minute because I do want to put these videos together. So may Allah bless everybody. Make sure the children are here for the classes tomorrow too. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Have a good night.